Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to do something a little bit different today. I have mentioned before on my channel that I do make miniature dollhouses out of recycled materials, and I have been working over the past several months on a project of the Kawamoto sisters' home from Sangatsu no Lion. I really love that anime, and I'm super looking forward to Denpa releasing the manga in 2022. And I just thought that the home that the three sisters live in, that Rei goes to so often, was really, really beautiful. And I think it's such a huge part of that series because it is a safe space for Rei to exist and feel the love of family that he should have felt, but never really did his whole life. And so it just kind of encapsulates that, like, home is where the heart is. And there's so many lovely scenes of, the sisters and Rei interacting in this home. And I've always wanted to do a Japanese style home dollhouse, and this was the perfect opportunity to do that. This is the first project that I'm making with a reference. Normally, I customize existing dollhouse kits, or I just make projects from scratch and just make them up out of my head. But this time I wanted to try, building something that I was building off of a reference. And so what I've done is I watched the entire anime over again, took a bunch of reference photos of the different rooms, and then also was pulling reference photos from Google Images from both the manga and the anime. So there's a bit of my own interpretation here, because if you actually look at all the different scenes of the same rooms of the house, there are differences. Even just within the anime, there are sometimes windows in places that there aren't windows anymore in the next scene, or in the manga there's something that is there in the manga only and it's not in the anime, and vice versa. So I've kind of taken as many photos as I can for reference, and then just kind of going off of my own interpretation of what I think would work best in a dollhouse form. And so anyway, I wanted to give you a tour of what I have so far. Now the walls are being held up by various objects because they're not glued in place yet. None of the furniture or anything is glued down either, so I'm kind of like balancing everything in this moment. So if something looks like it doesn't fit properly, or it's strange looking, it's because this is a nowhere near finished project, but I figured I would give an update, or a first kind of glimpse at what it looks like now, so that when I eventually finish it, hopefully you can see a little bit of the progression of this project as it is. So I guess we'll start with the kitchen. This is the most finished portion. I have, as you can see, the countertops and the stove, and that back wall is pretty well finished, almost, with all the details. The only things that I have left to do in the kitchen are on the fridge. There's a little loop that I have to put a towel on, and then I do have this other cabinet that I built that goes on the wall here, but I'm not attaching it to the wall yet, so it can't really sit. And then there's a couple bags and things that go on those hooks that I've made that I haven't made the bags yet. So the kitchen is pretty well done at this point. It just needs to be all glued in place, but I can't glue the walls up yet, so they're still kind of just temporarily there. And then from the kitchen, there's a doorway that leads up to the staircase, and there will be a second floor of this project. I just need to build the first floor before I start on the second floor. So the other thing too is that I usually build lighting into my dollhouses, and this one I'm planning to put lighting in, but I just need to figure out the logistics of how I want that to work. And so that's another reason why I can't glue the walls in place or do the second floor yet, is because I have to build the wiring in to the project before I make those kind of permanent placements and things. So then in the living room, you can see the doorway from the kitchen goes into the living room, and you've got the television is over there in the corner, the table's in the middle, and I'll give you a better view of the other side of what's all going on this back wall here. And you can see down here is the entrance to the washroom, and this is the front entrance door. This is the side exit, with the Genkan is in there, but the front door is here. And if you notice in the show, there are two sliding doors, but the sliding mechanism is the same for the bathroom door and the front door. So if you slide the front door over, it goes over top of the bathroom. I decided so that you can actually see into the bathroom to make one door and just glue it into the middle there. It's not glued in yet, but to glue it in the middle so you still get the nice looking door, but it's not blocking the front or the bathroom, and it just kind of placed in the middle to show that it would slide across that. These sliding doors here do actually slide. I obviously have not made the top wall area or the side wall area yet, but they will. I've made it so that they will slide because I want the option to be able to open and close those ones. And yeah, so that's this side, and I'm going to scooch around to the other side and show you what's going on. So on this side of the project, you can see the kind of the most exciting part of the living room here is the, oh, I just noticed I have this wall backwards. Anyway, this is actually the outside of the wall, but again, nothing's glued in place, so it really doesn't matter. Plus this part you won't even see anyway once I finish, but this back cabinet is one giant unit I built, and then it's got the glass, it's actually plastic, but you know, it's got the cover on there because that's a cabinet, and I put a bunch of stuff in there. I made the little shrine that is part of that built-in wall cabinet, so that's up there. And then down here, those pictures you see will actually be glued into place on the wall back there, but I didn't do that yet. And those little jugs are there as well. And then we've got the phone and this cabinet here. You can't really see super well, but that bottom darker cabinet does have a design on the front of it. I guess I can just pull it out. And then the little silver thing next to it is their rice cooker that sits on the floor there. So yeah, so I did my best to emulate the design that is on that cabinet with the materials I have, but that thing is so tiny, it was very difficult. And then there's a little bookshelf on the wall, the back wall over here. And like I said, the doors are sliding, but you know, I haven't built the top mechanism yet. So this is the Genkan area with the stone flooring. There will be a cabinet in here. This will be glued slightly upward because it's like a step to get into the room. And then there's another set of sliding doors here. And I have to build up the wall on top of this area. I wasn't originally going to build all this, but then I decided to a bit later. So this is an addition that I'm working on now. The other thing too about the living room, I do have a few things. This little clock that I made is going to go up on the wall. I've got the little, I don't know what this is, some kind of information sheet, and their little calendar as well, which will all go above the phone rice cooker area over here. I just haven't glued those on yet. Again, there's the bathroom. So I'll give you the facade of the bathroom is finished. So it's got this like white paneled look with the tiling on the bottom. And then there's kind of an aerial view of that with the tub and the sink and the little, the stool to sit on. The only thing left for the bathroom is the towel that will go on that towel rack. I wonder if I can get maybe I'll take it apart in a second so you can get a better view of the bathroom as it is in this moment. But when you go around the front, you can see, obviously, again, the facade is not finished on the front, so it looks really horrible right now, but you can have a little bit of a peek view into the front area through where the front door would be. You can still see that a front door is sliding through there, and you can actually see from this angle the blue tone of the fake glass that I put in the front door paneling part. I did kind of dye it blue because there's a bit of a blue tone to that when you watch the anime. So anyway, maybe I'll pull some of these walls apart so you can get a better view of the bathroom. Okay, so you can kind of see a bit better now. I have like the shower head is attached to the side of the bathtub there, the little shelving with the soaps and things, and then this big, what do you call that? Piping that goes up through that, what I'm assuming is the water heater up out there. And so technically the facade is not done on the bathroom because right here I have to build the little spout that comes out to release all the steam and everything. And obviously I have to build the roof. But again, with the lighting, you can't just go building and gluing roofs on without building the lighting into that mechanism, or that structure. So I had to put a hold on the bathroom roof for now until I figure out my lighting situation. So yeah, that's the project so far. Oh, and you can get a better view of the door. This one doesn't slide. This is literally just glued onto the facade of that wall there because I didn't want there was no point that I was going to want this doorway blocked. And so I figured I'll just make the facade of this door existing and just leave it where it is. Oh, yeah, and this side of the kitchen as well, you can see this again is all just a facade that I built onto this wall as it is. So yeah, again, there's like trim pieces missing, and I haven't finished the doorways or anything because nothing's glued in place yet, but this is as it is right now. I think I started this project maybe in May or something. It wasn't too long ago. I'm actually pretty shocked at the amount of progress I've made in such a short amount of time. But yeah, the hope is that this will be a fully lit 2-story full facade and full, obviously I haven't done anything, this is just foam board here. I'm going to put the fake grass and everything down with all the plants and the greenery that are in their yard, and yeah, that's the hope. But I guess we'll see how this all turns out. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Let me know what you think. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I've really picked up this hobby over the past few years now of making miniature dollhouses. Everything you see is made by hand, except some of those little things, those are buttons and different types of beads and things like that I've just collected over the years. My bedroom has turned into a giant garbage pile of things that I've picked out of garbage or found at thrift stores or whatever, and it's just all stuff that I'm using to build different crafts. So yeah, it's a work in progress, but hopefully you enjoyed this video, even though it's not, me giving a manga review or anything. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.